me ask you, Aryna, it has raised the whole question again of this ongoing debate about trans athletes in women's sport, because obviously it highlights the physical disparity between men and women. Martina Navratilova, a former number one, obviously like yourself, says it's wrong for the Women's Tennis Association to allow trans women to compete in its events. Do you agree with her?
Well, that's a tricky question. I have nothing to do against them, but I feel like they still got huge advantage over the woman. And I think it's just not fair to a woman to basically face like the biologically man. And then it's, it's not fair. Like the woman been working the whole life to reach her limit, and then she has to face like a man, like which biologically much stronger. So for me, I don't agree with this kind of stuff in sport.
Yeah, Nick, what do you feel? Because I completely concur with what Aryna just said.
Yeah, I feel the exact same way, to be honest. Yeah, I've got nothing to add, but I think she hit the nail on the head there.
All right, so this is rather ironic. While Belarus's Aryna Sabalenka sits next to Australian Nick Kyrgios to promote their Battle of the Sexes match.
Sabalenka, and she's awesome, by the way. Like, getting to know her, she's definitely a character. But I'm super excited for that, and I think she's a type of player that I think she genuinely thinks she's going to win.
No, but will you try, or will you be just playing around and then at the end she will win and be like, okay,
no.
Because if we talk about, a lot of politics here, it's more about the women's tennis, equal prize money and all that. And if she beats you,
she's not going to beat me, brother.
So you're going to try. Because you can always double fall.
Do you really think I have to try 100%?
I think you can just go there, have a nice night out before that and say, okay, I don't care.
No, I'm going to try.
Okay, so you're going to try. So my question was, will you try to be there, to play?
Definitely, because I'm representing, I guess, you, the men's side. Like, I would say like
I would not pick you
maybe
to represent us against her.
What?
For sure.
Seriously?
Because I know what you're gonna.
No, but we can
capable
serve
of.
like our serves, like women's can't return, and then we can just like chip and like drop shot. I would choose you. See, he's very mean to me, bro. I would choose you 100%. You can drop shot. They would have no idea. Thanks for the confidence, bro.
Where Kyrgios is actually asked if he'll really try in the competition. Look, it's a fair question, considering how he's dogged matches in the past. The better question that must be asked: why is Piers posing questions such as these? What is the purpose behind this? What is the intent behind this? Defector's Tom Lee wrote of the question from Morgan and the answer from the competitors, plus the moment that followed, where Ukraine's Marta Kostak spoke of Iga Swiatek and Aryna Sabalenka. She responded with this quote: "With Iga, when I played her, I wasn't ready to play her at all. I played her over a year ago. With Aryna, I don't know, to be honest. When I look at these players, I have my own skills, but at the end of the day, they are all much bigger than me, much taller than me, much stronger than me. We all have different biological structures." She would continue saying this: "Some have a higher level of testosterone. Some have lower. I know players who are good players who have higher levels of it. It's just natural. They don't take anything. I'm sure of that. It's just the biology of their body. Obviously, that definitely helps. I'm trying to see how I can beat these players with the tennis skills I have, but I have to work more than they have to win points." Morgan asked about all of this, and Lee rightfully wrote the following. Here was an interesting moment. Piers Morgan, completely on accident, he asked the question in order to set up images of Sabalenka in bikinis, had plowed the convo into a queasy and inconvenient truth that anti-trans agitators refuse to grapple with. In the absence of any actual high-level trans athletes attempting to compete, those who prominently suffer when trans bans are put into place are cis athletes who do not conform to a particular image of femininity. In other words, if anyone currently on the tour is going to end up being subjected to gross speculation and invasive sex testing under a trans ban, it is players who look like Aryna Sabalenka. He adds, none of this, nor the fact that they had just finished talking about how physical advantages can undermine the competitive fairness of their sport, seemed to enter Sabalenka's or Nick Kyrgios' heads as they gave their response about Kostak. And here's what they said. Sabalenka, all I hear is just excuses. And it's actually quite funny because she's a strong girl. She probably has more muscles than I do. She looks fit and strong. And I think that's not the case in all the matches she lost against top players. Nick Kyrgios, we kind of debunked that. Someone like John Isner or Ivo Karlovic was a fair bit bigger than Roger Federer, but that doesn't really... And then Morgan goes in, yeah, you're always going to get physical differences between players, obviously. Sabalenka, I think that's not the key in sports. As Lee ends his article that is a must-read, the most important ingredient in maintaining a commitment to anti-trans bigotry is never stopping to think about anything for more than 2 seconds. Touching on the irony of it all. Sabalenka says we must protect women, yet sits next to, takes on, and profits off of a man, according to Metro, who admitted to being a domestic abuser. Sabalenka would spew the biological men line in her diatribe to exclude trans people from sports, as printed by Reuters, though the WTA, or Women's Tennis Association's gender participation policy of its tour, permits trans women to participate if they have declared their gender as female for a minimum of 4 years, have lowered testosterone levels, and agree to testing procedures they would report. These conditions may be further varied by the WTA medical manager on a case-by-case basis.
Will face off in a much publicised exhibition match. Early Sports Breakfast host Katie Shanahan has more. Katie.
A concept long debated in the tennis world will return for the first time in 33 years. Yes, the battle of the sexes is back. World number 1, Aryna Sabalenka, will face Nick Kyrgios, who reached the 2022 Wimbledon final in an exhibition match in Dubai. Last time a match like this happened was in 1992. Jimmy Connors beat fellow multiple Grand Slam champion Martina Navratilova. But in 1973, Billie Jean King made tennis history by beating Bobby Riggs. The most recent match in the battle of the sexes has divided the tennis community. Some believe it's harmless entertainment, while others believe this could fuel sexism and misogyny. But four-time Grand Slam winner Sabalenka, who shares the same agent as Kyrgios, says, I have a lot of respect for Nick and his talent, but make no mistake, I'm ready to bring my A-game. So who will come out on top in this year's Battle of the Sexes as Sabalenka and Kyrgios go head-to-head in Dubai on the 28th of December?
Thank you to TalkSport for the history lesson. It should not be lost on us where this match will take place as well. For the Battle of the Sexes, the contest will be best of 3, with a 10-point match tiebreak used in place of a third set if required. Each player will be limited to using one serve. Billie Jean King, who played and defeated Bobby Riggs, would be quoted as saying of the event, the only similarity is that one is a boy and one is a girl. That's it. She would also say everything else, no. Ours was about social change, culturally. Where we were in 1973, this one is not. Furthermore, she added, I hope it's a great match. I want Sabalenka, obviously, to win, but it's just not the same. Mine was really political. It was rough, culturally, what was coming in with it. I knew I had to beat him for societal change. I had a lot of reasons to win. If you can and are willing, please become a paid member here at TYT Sports. And or go to tyt.com/join. In addition, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate it. Have a great day.